Okay, welcome back. So this episode we're going to combining like terms. All right. So let me clean up this page a little bit because I see some notes that I wanted to make sure that I got done on here. Okay. So I'm going to make these smaller to get them a little bit out of the way. Not looking at these right now. And this is actually, I think, one, possibly two worksheets put together that you can also download and review with me on this. Okay. So remember, this one we are going to be doing combining like terms. So, and this should look familiar to you. And I see my notes up at the top that says coefficient variables and constants. All right. Here's the thing that you want to make sure that you understand first before you even start combining like terms, just in case you see questions that ask you what are the coefficients, and I spelled that wrong, but that's all right. Variables and constant. Coefficients are the numbers that are in front, I would say, of the letters. For instance, okay, you see 3 is a coefficient, 1, because remember, invisible letters work too, a -6, +5, and a -4. Okay, those are all coefficients. Okay, variables, of course, are the letters. So you have an x, you have a y, you have a xy. That one matches the xy. This one matches the x, and this one matches the y. So there are 3 variables that are here. Okay, again, because, and I'll show you even more, this variable matches with this variable. So that's one type of letter, right? The y matches with this one. So that makes 2 types of letter types, not how many types. Okay, and this matches with this one. So that's 3. So our variables are x, y, and xy. See that? All right. So the next thing that we have are constants. Constants are letters that, or excuse me, numbers that don't have a variable with it. So, and there are no constants in this particular example. So if I had, let's say, placed a +8 at the end of this, okay, that would be the constant. And in class, I think I tended to call them naked numbers because they didn't carry a letter with it. So your naked numbers are what are going to be the constants, okay? Quick review on that. So now let's get to the work of combining these like terms, and they should look very familiar to you. Did it, think now over a month ago in class, but it's always good to do a little bit of a review because you will be seeing problems like this on your midterm exam. Again, I like to use the highlighter to highlight the matching terms. I have the x here, okay? And remember, you always have to carry the sign that's in front of the number. So I have 2 x's. I'm going to do my y's in orange, the +3y, and a -4y. And then I will do my xy's in purple, +1 xy, -6 xy. So now I'm going to begin combining like terms. If I do that, combining means add. Remember that. I have a 3x, a +3x, plus a +5. So guess what that is? 8x all together. Let me put this in red. 5 + 3 is 8. Carry the variable with it. So now I am done with this one, and I am done with this one. Okay, now let's look at my y's. I have a +3y and a -4y. Combining means add. What do we do when we have a positive plus a negative? We really subtract or find the difference between the two, keep the sign of the higher digit. So if I subtract, find the difference, I'll realize the difference is 1, right? What's it going to be, a positive or -1? 4 is a higher digit, so that 4 is negative. So this is what I have, keeping with my variable. Now remember, 1s tend to be invisible, right? If you show your 1, I'm okay with that. But you also don't necessarily have to show it. So if you had just done -y, I know that 1 is still there. So that means I took care of this. I took care of this. Don't worry about that plus sign that's right there. Just keep the sign that's in front of the variable. So now I have an xy plus a negative 6xy, okay? So remember that invisible 1, so a positive 1 and a negative 6. Again, we subtract. My answer, the difference would be 1. xy is going to be a positive or negative. Negative because 6 is the higher digit. Again, you do not necessarily have to show that 1. Oops, excuse me. A negative 6 and a 1, the difference is 5. So you do have to show that 5. I'll write that part neater. Positive 1, negative 6. Subtract, keep the sign of the higher digit. There we go. So, and this is your final answer for combining like terms. Remember, I'm not asking to isolate variables, which means solve what the variables are. That's not this part for your exam. Here, you're just simply combining the like terms. Let's try number 2. All right, highlight your like terms. I have 12p, a negative 2p, I have a positive 4pd, and a positive 6pd. There's only 2 types of terms in here, right? Okay, positive 12 combined with a negative 2. So a positive plus a negative. What do we do when we have a positive and negative? We subtract, keep the sign of the higher digit. So we have a top positive 10p left over. So we took care of this, took care of this. Now I have a positive 4 and a positive 6. Add. And you have this, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. So positive 10p and positive 10pd. Well, that was easy. Okay. I'm going to skip down to doing number 4 because it looks a little bit harder. And that way you can work on number 3 on your own. Remember, answer keys are attached. Highlighting my x's first. I have a positive 4x, a negative 2x, any more x's, a positive 21x, and no more x's. Now let's highlight my xy's. My positive 6xy, negative 9xy, and then look at that, a constant number standing by itself. Make a number. All right. So I have 4x combined with a negative 2x. Do 2 of them at a time. You don't have to try to do all 3 at one time. I have a 4x, positive 4, and a negative 2, right? What do we do when we have a positive negative? Subtract, keep the sign of the higher digit. 4 is higher, so I'm going to keep that at a 2. But then I have a plus 21x. So this is a positive plus a positive. So really altogether I have is 23. 2 plus 21 is 23. Keeping my variable. Done with those. Let's do the xy's. I have a positive 6 and a negative 9. Remember, you don't have to look at this one. Just always keep the sign that's in front of the number. So I have a positive and negative, which means I subtract. Difference is 3. Keep the sign of the higher digit. So that's negative 3. This one has nothing to match with. So I'm just going to bring that one straight down into my answer. And done. All right. Remember, try number 3 on your own. Check to see if you and I got the right answer by using the answer key. See, we have got the answers together. Now, when it comes to combining like terms or expanding them using the distributive property, remember, distributive property. Distributive means distribute, and you will see a few of these on your midterm exam as well. So remember, distribute means taking that outside number with the sign and multiplying it with the 2 inside numbers. So for this one, I have a negative 5 times 2s. Negative 5 times 2s, 5 times 2 is 10. You know it's going to be negative. Make sure you bring that variable back in. And then negative 5 times positive 2m. Still, I have a negative times a positive. So it's going to be a negative 10. Bring this variable with it. Okay, you are done. That's it. Distributing. So remember, sometimes you might have to distribute and then combine like terms. So you must distribute first and then do the work that we had done like above. Once it's all distributed, see if you have any like terms, then combine. Okay, making things a little bit easier for you. But in this case, there are no like terms because I have an S and I have an M, not like terms, so I don't have to combine anything. This one, 4 times 2d, 4 times 2 is 8. And then 4 times 6b. 4 times 6 is 24, and it's positive. There it is. That's all it is to that one. There are no like terms here, so I will not combine anything. On your task, you might have to do both, distribute and then combine like terms. Reason why I'm showing you these examples. Okay, so we'll get this out of the way so that we can now take a look at this. So, simplifying each polynomial, use tiles or drawings if necessary. You don't have to use the tiles and drawings. When they say tiles or drawings, they're saying if you need to draw like the boxes, rectangles like this to help you out, you can, okay? But I didn't teach in that method. I could have, but I thought it was just easier not to. Less work if you ask me, not to. So again, all you're doing is simplifying, combining your like terms. Remember, simplifying and combining mean the same thing in this particular concept. So I have a 4x and a positive 2x. I have a constant 3 and a constant positive 4. Remember, constants are the negative numbers. They don't carry the letters with them. So remember, simplifying and combining mean adding 4, a positive 4, and a positive 2. And that's going to give me 6 x's altogether. So I took those out, take that out. Now I have a positive 3 and a positive 4. The answer is going to be a positive 7. And you're done. Okay? Now, don't freak out about ones that look like this, because that's a variable all by itself too. You cannot combine an x squared with a regular x. They don't look alike, do they? So they're not the same family members. So this negative 2x squared combines with this and this. Remember those invisible ones. This one is standing alone because it doesn't have a square with it, but I can still combine negative 2, a negative 1, and a negative 1. Okay? So I have a negative plus a negative plus a negative. All these negatives, 2 plus 1 and 1, that's going to be negative 4 x squares altogether. This I can't combine anything with, so I leave it by itself, bring it down, answer is done. All right. Few other small things I want to make sure we are clear, and that's when it does have the model picture example with it. Okay, don't freak out. Basically, what it says, simplify each polynomial using the model. This is way easier than it looks. The model is a representative of what you see above here. Watch. You see how you have 2 a squares, right? Well, here they are. See that? You see how you have another negative a square that goes with it? Positives, negatives are darker shade, but still, it's an a squared, right? So those three are in the same family. You can combine those. And then we have a negative a, and then you have 3 positive a's, right? And here they are. Okay? So, make sure that's highlighted with that one. All I have to do is simplify, again, which means combining your like terms, right? So if I do that, I have a positive 2a and a negative 1a. Positive negative means subtract, keep the sign of the higher number. So for this one, you should have 1 left over. 1a squared, right? So that means I took care of the a's. And then if you combine a negative a with a positive 3a, your answer should be positive 2a. You have 2 left over, okay? So when I combine the like terms, that's it. I have 1a squared plus 2a. That's all you have to do on that one. All right. I'm going to have to stop the video here because I'm running out of time, and I will take this last problem that you see over here into the next section. So if you need to look at, see how this one goes, the one that's right here, okay, I'm going to bring that one over to the next section so you can watch the first minute of the next section. All right, guys, see you on the next one.